The year was 2287, and Earth had been part of the Galactic Senate for just 15 months. In the Grand Hall of the Senate building, representatives from over 200 worlds gathered to discuss the ongoing war against the Korth Empire. Bright lights carved through the darkness as holographic displays showed the latest battle reports. Vexthor, the delegate from Zelatex Prime, stood at the central podium. His blue skin shimmered as he waved multiple arms in the air. "Look at these numbers," he said, his voice full of contempt. "Earth sent 3 ships to defend the Outer Rim. 3 ships, and 2 of them had to retreat within the first hour. These humans are children playing with their parents' toys." Other delegates murmured in agreement. The war had been going badly for everyone, but Earth's contributions seemed particularly weak. Admiral Henry Jackson sat in the Earth section, his face red with anger. He gripped the armrest of his chair but said nothing. Far away, on a remote research station near Mars, Dr. Rachel Miller walked through the main lab. She carried a coffee cup in one hand and a datapad in the other. Her blonde hair was tied back in a messy bun, and her lab coat had several burn marks from yesterday's experiments. "The energy readings are stable now," said Commander Jake Carter, looking up from a control panel. He was a tall man with broad shoulders, his military uniform replaced by work clothes covered in grease. "I adjusted the power flow like you suggested." Rachel nodded and moved closer to examine the massive reactor in the center of the room. Blue light pulsed inside the transparent containment field. "The fusion process is working better than our models predicted. We might actually pull this off." On the other side of the station, Lieutenant Diana Wells sat in the cockpit of the USS Vanguard. The ship's interior was cramped and basic compared to alien vessels. Exposed wires ran along the ceiling, and the pilot's seat was modified from a civilian transport shuttle. "Running diagnostics again," she said into her headset. "Jake, the gravity wave system is showing some fluctuations." "Copy that, Diana. Give me 5 minutes to recalibrate." Jake's voice crackled through the speaker. Rachel entered the control room where screens showed every system on the prototype ship. "How's she looking today?" "Better than yesterday. Worse than I'd like," Diana replied with a tired smile. "We've got the hull plating fixed from last week's incident." The incident had been their 3rd test flight. The ship's engines had overheated, causing minor explosions that damaged the outer armor. The galactic news networks had broadcast the footage repeatedly, calling it another human failure in space technology. 2 hours later, the crew gathered for their daily briefing. Lieutenant Ryan O'Connor arrived late, carrying an armful of reports. He was younger than the rest of the team, fresh out of flight academy. Dr. Lisa Park, the ship's medical officer, sat quietly taking notes. Her small medbay was stocked with both human and alien medical supplies, though they hoped never to use the latter. "I've got some good news," Rachel announced. "The quantum-linked weapon system is finally synchronized with our targeting computers. If our theory is correct, it should give us an advantage in combat." "Assuming we ever get to combat," Diana muttered. "High Command won't even let us leave the solar system for testing." Admiral Jackson's face appeared on the main screen. His office on Luna Base looked organized and professional, unlike their cluttered workspace. "Team, I have news from the Senate meeting. The Galactic Council has approved a small budget increase for our program. They're giving us 6 more months to show results." "That's something," Jake said carefully. "It's nothing," the Admiral replied. "They expect us to fail." Vexthor literally laughed when they mentioned our project today. He said Earth should stick to farming and leave technology to the advanced species. The team exchanged glances. They knew the odds were against them. Their ship used human technology that aliens considered primitive. The fusion reactor was outdated, by galactic standards. Their armor was thick but basic. Their weapons lacked the sophisticated targeting systems found on alien warships. "Sir," Diana spoke up, "request permission to do a combat simulation outside Earth's orbit. We need to test our maneuverability in open space." Jackson hesitated. "The Council specifically forbade that. They don't want you embarrassing Earth again." "With respect, sir, we won't get any better sitting in a hangar." After a long pause, Jackson nodded slowly. 1 hour. Stay within Mars's orbit. At the first sign of trouble, you return to base. Understood? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. 20 minutes. Later, the USS Vanguard lifted off from the surface of Mars. Red dust swirled as the engines powered up. The ship's design was blocky and aggressive, built for strength rather than grace. All systems green, Ryan reported from the weapons station. Engines running at 60% power. Copy that, Diana responded. Jake, how's the reactor holding up? Temperatures climbing, but within safe limits. We're good to go. The ship accelerated smoothly out of the atmosphere. Stars appeared in the viewport as they left Mars's gravitational influence. For a moment, everyone was quiet, taking in the view. Combat simulation starting, Lisa announced. She would be monitoring everyone's vital signs during the test. First target acquired. Prepare for evasive maneuvers. Computer-generated enemy ships appeared on their screens. Diana pushed the controls forward, and the Vanguard dove toward a simulated Korth destroyer. The ship's gravity wave drives allowed for sharp turns that would crush normal crews with G-forces. Human bodies, with their rigid skeletal structure, handled it better than most alien species. 37 minutes later, they completed the simulation. Diana's shirt was soaked with sweat, and Ryan's hands trembled slightly from adrenaline. Not bad, Jake said, reviewing the data. We hit 72% of our targets. The reaction time is improving. Could be better, Diana muttered, always, demanding more from herself. A warning light flashed on Lisa's console. We're picking up something on long-range sensors. It's not a simulation artifact. The excitement in the cockpit turned to tension. Out here beyond the protected zone of the inner solar system, they were vulnerable. The Korth had scouts everywhere looking for weak targets. 3 contacts, Ryan confirmed. They're changing course toward us. Time to divert? Diana asked, her hands steady on the controls despite her heart racing. 90 seconds until visual range, Jake calculated quickly. Command won't respond in time. Rachel appeared on the internal screen from the lab. Whatever you're going to do, decide. Fast. The reactor can handle combat power for 10 minutes before we risk overload. Diana took a deep breath. They could run back to Mars, report the incident, and face questions about why they were out here in the first place. Or they could see what this experimental ship could really do. All hands battle stations, she ordered. Let's show these scouts what humans can build. The 3 Korth scout ships moved like sharks through space. Their sleek designs cut through the darkness while weapons charged with deadly energy. Inside the USS Vanguard, alarms blared as the crew scrambled to their positions. Contact in 30 seconds, Ryan called out. They're showing hostile intent. Diana gripped the controls. Her mind raced through their options. The Vanguard was untested in real combat. Running might save them, but it would prove every critic right. Fighting could destroy them, but it might teach them something valuable. Weapons hot, she commanded. Jake, give me everything the reactor can handle. Ryan, ready the quantum-linked system. The first Korth destroyer fired. Plasma bolts screamed through space, lighting up their shields with bright flashes. The Vanguard shook as energy rippled across its surface. Shields at 90%, Lisa reported. Their weapons aren't as strong as predicted. That's our advantage, Rachel said, appearing on screen. The quantum linking should disrupt their targeting. Fire when ready. Ryan pressed the trigger. Twin beams of energy shot from the Vanguard's main guns. To everyone's surprise, the Korth shields flickered and rippled like water. The second shot punched through, hitting the hull directly. Direct hit, Ryan shouted. Their shields just failed. Diana didn't wait to celebrate. She yanked the controls hard left, sending the Vanguard diving below the enemy formation. The ship groaned, but held together. In her years of flying atmospheric craft, Diana had learned Earth's oldest air combat rule. Never fly straight. More contacts coming in, Jake warned. 3 more ships dropping out of FTL. We're outnumbered 6-3. To 6, Diana corrected. But they don't know our tricks yet. Ryan, target the lead ship. Jake, charge the gravity wave burst. We're going to try something stupid. The Vanguard accelerated directly at the largest enemy destroyer. Plasma fire filled the space between them. The human ship bucked and twisted, absorbing hits but staying on course. Brace for impact, Diana yelled. At the last second, she fired. The gravity wave burst. Space itself seemed to bend around the Vanguard. The ship suddenly appeared on the other side of the enemy formation, weapons blazing. Two destroyers collided in confusion, their crews unable to react to the impossible maneuver. Impossible, came a transmission in broken English. Human technology cannot. Ryan cut off the transmission with another salvo. The quantum-linked weapons continued to cause chaos among Korth targeting systems. Shields failed unpredictably as the weapons created harmonic interference. Lisa, how are we doing on damage? Diana asked while pulling the ship through another tight turn. Minor hull damage on Deck 3. No casualties. But our reactor is pushing into the yellow zone. Jake says we've got maybe 5 minutes at this power level. Diana's mind worked quickly. They damaged 4 ships and destroyed 1 completely. The Korth had superior numbers and technology, but the battle wasn't going as they expected. It was. Time to be smart, not just brave. One more trick, she said. Jake, can we overload the gravity wave generator for 1 massive pulse? Theoretically, yes. But it would kill our propulsion for hours. Do it. Ryan, target the biggest undamaged ship. We end this now. The Vanguard dove toward an asteroid cluster. The remaining Korth ships followed, firing constantly. Diana weaved through the rocks, using them as cover while Jake prepared the overload. Ready in 3, 2, 1, firing. The gravity wave pulse exploded from the ship. Space distorted in a visible sphere, catching 3 enemy vessels. 2 destroyers were crushed instantly, their hulls unable to handle the sudden shifts in gravitational force. The third managed to stabilize but lost all shields and weapons. Jump away! Jump away! Diana heard in alien voices. The surviving Korth ships retreated, leaving behind debris and defeat. Silence fell over the Vanguard's bridge. After a moment, Ryan spoke. Did we just win? Run a full diagnostic, Diana ordered. Lisa, check everyone for injuries. Jake, start emergency repairs. We're dead in space if anything else shows up. 2 hours later, Admiral Jackson's angry face filled their screen. Explain to me why I'm seeing Korth battle footage of my prototype ship engaging in unauthorized combat. Diana sat straighten. Her uniform was disheveled and she had a burn on her cheek. Sir, we were attacked without provocation. We defended ourselves and managed to destroy 4 enemy vessels while taking minimal damage, the Admiral continued. The Korth have now reported human weapons that cheat by disrupting their shields. They're demanding an investigation. Sir, Rachel interrupted, the quantum-linked weapons created unexpected harmonic patterns. It's pure physics, not cheating. Jackson rubbed his temples. I'm getting calls from the Galactic Senate. Half want to shut down our program. The other half want to know more about this quantum linking. What's our status, sir? Jake asked. I've ordered a recovery ship to bring you back to Mars. No more unauthorized tests, but... Jackson paused. Commander Torres in intelligence has picked up chatter. The Korth are planning something big at Eden Prime. If even half the reports are true, we need every ship we can get. Back at base, the crew worked around the clock to repair the Vanguard. News of their victory spread quickly, but reactions were mixed. Some humans celebrated having a ship that could compete with alien technology. Others worried it would paint an even bigger target on Earth. Dr. Rachel Miller barely slept for 3 days straight. She analyzed every minute of combat data, searching for patterns. What she found amazed her. The quantum linking doesn't just disrupt shields, she explained to the team. It creates feedback loops in their power systems. The more they fire at us, the weaker their defenses become. That's incredible, Lisa said, but can we count on it happening again? Physics is physics, Rachel replied. Unless they completely redesign their ships, we have a real advantage. 3 days after their combat with the Scouts, Captain Steve Morgan arrived at their station. He was a grizzled veteran with scars from the early days of first contact. His reputation for unconventional tactics made him one of Earth's few respected military leaders. I need your ship, he said without preamble. Intelligence confirms Korth forces massing at Eden Prime. They have over 20 warships ready to burn that world to ash. The Senate won't authorize military action, Diana pointed out. Morgan smiled grimly. I'm not asking the Senate, I'm asking you. The colonies ask for help. You have the only Earth ship that's proven it can fight these monsters. Are you willing to risk it? The crew exchanged glances. They'd built something special, something that could change the balance of power in the war. But using it unauthorized would be mutiny. It would end careers, possibly lives. Give us 24 hours, Diana said. We need to finish repairs and run simulations. After Morgan left, the debate began. Should they follow orders and wait for official approval, or take the vanguard into battle and potentially save millions of colonists? I didn't become a scientist to watch people die, Rachel said firmly. We built this ship to defend Earth and our allies. Eden Prime qualifies. The regulations are clear, Jake countered. We're not even a commissioned vessel yet. We could start a mutiny. We could save thousands of lives, Lisa added, and gather combat data that could help Earth's defense. Ryan, the youngest member, spoke last. We proved our ship works. The Korth fear it. If we wait for permission, Eden Prime might burn. Vote we go. Diana looked at each face. These weren't just her crew anymore. They were pioneers, testing limits in both technology and courage. The weight of command pressed down on her, but the decision felt clear. Prepare the ship, she ordered. We launch at midnight, full stealth protocols. If we succeed, maybe forgiveness will be easier than permission. If we fail... She didn't finish the sentence. They all knew the cost of failure would be high. Midnight came quickly. The USS Vanguard slipped away from Mars under the cover of darkness. Her engines ran at minimal power to avoid detection. Inside the ship, the crew worked in hushed tones, checking systems one final time. The journey to Eden Prime would take 3 days. Diana spent the first day drilling the crew through combat scenarios. Ryan improved his targeting speed by 20%. Jake developed emergency power routines that could squeeze extra performance from the reactor. Lisa organized a triage system for potential battle injuries. Long-range sensors showing movement ahead, Lisa reported on day 2. The Korth blockade is forming around Eden Prime. Rachel pulled up the tactical display. Red markers showed enemy ship positions. 19 vessels so far, destroyers, cruisers, and at least 3 heavy carriers. We're 1 ship against 90, Ryan said quietly. 19 ships but only 1 prototype, Diana corrected. Jake, how long can we maintain stealth? If we drop to quarter power, maybe another day. But once they scan our quantum signature, they'll know we're here. They dropped back into real space at the edge of the system. Eden Prime glowed blue and green in the distance. The agricultural colony housed 2 million settlers from 12 different species. Clouds of smoke already rose from the planet's surface where preliminary strikes had hit. Their attack is beginning, Rachel observed. They're softening up ground defenses. Diana studied the enemy formation. The Korth had arranged their ships in a defensive sphere around 3 massive troop carriers. Smaller vessels patrolled the outer edges while the heavies prepared for orbital bombardment. We can't fight them all, Jake warned. Our quantum weapons work best against shields, but some of those carriers have enough armor to survive a direct hit. Then we don't fight them all, Diana decided. We fight smart. First target is their command ship. Without coordination, their formation breaks down. They identified the flagship, a massive dreadnought named Devourer based on intercepted communications. It sat at the center of the sphere, surrounded by smaller escort vessels. New plan, Diana announced. We use their formation against them. Ensign Kelly Brooks, I need your brilliant mind right now. Kelly entered the bridge. Fresh from navigation school, she had impressed everyone with her understanding of complex flight patterns. What do you need, Captain? Look at their defensive sphere. Find me the weak points where we can slip through. Kelly studied the display, her eyes darting between ships. There, between the 3rd and 4th quadrant, 2 destroyers are maintaining distance for a power-sharing link. If we calculate the timing perfectly, we can fly between them without triggering alarms, Diana finished. Brilliant. Ryan, prepare the quantum-linked weapons for maximum disruption. We only get 1 shot at this. The Vanguard crept toward its target. At 1/4 power, the old human ship looked like space debris to most scanners. Only at close range would the Korth identify the distinctive quantum signature. Distance to gap, 5,000 kilometers. Ryan counted down. 4,000, 3,000. Warning lights suddenly flashed. "They've spotted us," Lisa shouted. "All Korth ships are powering weapons." "Now or never," Diana said calmly. "Full power. Attack pattern Delta 7. The Vanguard exploded into motion. Engines roared to life, propelling the ship through the gap in Korth defenses. Plasma fire erupted around them as enemy ships reacted too late. "Firing quantum burst," Ryan announced. The weapons discharged. 10 Korth ships had their shields collapse simultaneously. The quantum weapons created cascading failures throughout the defensive sphere. Ships that were close enough began firing on their own allies as targeting systems went haywire. "Direct course for the Devourer," Diana ordered. "Ben Wilson, take the backup weapon station, double our firepower." Ben, the chief tactical officer, secured himself at the empty station. His fingers flew across controls, adding his expertise to Ryan's youth. Together, they created overlapping fields of disruption. The Korth flagship turned to face them, its massive guns tracking the small human ship. From behind, 3 cruisers broke formation to intercept. The Vanguard was now surrounded, exactly where Diana wanted to be. "Jake, prepare the gravity wave spiral pattern, 3-second bursts." The ship began to spin and dive, moving in unpredictable patterns. Korth weapons fire went wide as the human vessel seemed to defy physics. Massive ships designed for long-range bombardment struggled to hit the smaller, faster target. "Shields, down to 60%, Lisa reported. "We're taking heavy hits." "Understood. Kelly, plot an escape route through asteroid field Alpha. Standard evacuation protocols." But Diana had no intention of running. As they closed on the Devourer, she shouted, "Now, full quantum burst." Every weapon on the Vanguard fired at once. The overload created a sphere of disruption stretching a kilometer in all directions. The Devourer's mighty shields flickered, weakened, and failed. Smaller ships caught in the blast began to drift powerless. "Launch all missiles," Diana commanded. In the confusion, the Korth admiral made a fatal error. He ordered the flagship to ram the human ship, expecting to crush it with sheer mass. Diana waited until the last moment before firing the gravity wave burst. The massive dreadnought suddenly lost control. Without shields or working engines, it couldn't correct its course. The Devourer collided with 2 of its own escorts, the impact destroying all 3 ships in a spectacular explosion. A communicatio broke through the static. "Human vessel, this is Eden Prime Defense Grid. Did you just take out their flagship?" "Roger, Eden Prime. This is USS Vanguard. We've disrupted their command structure, but we need backup immediately. Ships launching now. Hold your position." "Negative. We're continuing our attack pattern. Target all remaining carriers before they can deploy ground troops." Diana pushed the wounded ship toward its next target. The remaining Korth forces were in disarray. Without their flagship, individual captains gave conflicting orders. Some tried to retreat, others attacked randomly. A few attempted to surrender. By the time Eden Prime's defense force arrived, the battle was nearly over. 7 Korth ships escaped by jumping to FTL. The rest were either destroyed or disabled. The invasion force, meant to overwhelm a peaceful colony, had been shattered by a single Earth prototype. As the USS Vanguard limped back to Mars, the galactic news networks exploded with reports. Video footage showed the small human ship darting between massive Korth vessels, weapons that shouldn't work creating impossible results. Ambassador Claire Davidson received an emergency summons to the Galactic Senate. In the chamber where Earth had been mocked just weeks ago, she found herself facing very different questions. "How did your prototype achieve this victory?" demanded Senator Vexthor, his blue skin pale with shock. "Advanced Earth engineering combined with tactical innovation," Claire responded carefully. "Our ship utilizes physics in ways your regulations haven't considered." "Regulations we must update," admitted the Galactic Council leader. "With the Korth attacking agricultural worlds, we need every advantage. Earth will receive increased funding for prototype development. You will build more of these vessels?" Absolutely. In fact, 3 more are already under construction. Back at Mars base, Admiral Jackson waited for the Vanguard's return. As the scarred ship landed, he allowed himself a small smile. Messages were flooding in from grateful colonists on Eden Prime. Reports showed the Korth had halted all offensive operations while they investigated how their invasion failed so completely. Diana emerged from the ship, her crew close behind. Her uniform was singed and everyone showed signs of the intense battle, but their eyes held triumph. "I should have you all court-martialed," Jackson said. "Yes, sir," Diana replied formally. "Instead, I'm authorizing your commission. The USS Vanguard is officially part of Earth's fleet. Captain Wells, prepare your ship for the next mission. Intelligence reports the Korth are deploying new shields to counter your weapons." Rachel grinned. "We're already working on countermeasures, sir." Lisa spoke up. "With your permission, I'd like to establish medical protocols for quantum weapon exposure. Some of the crew showed minor side effects." "Approved. Use whatever resources you need." As the crew filed inside for debriefing, Kelly Brooks approached Diana. "Captain, I've been analyzing the battle data. There's a weakness in how they space their ships. If we could coordinate multiple Vanguard-class vessels." Diana put a hand on the young officer's shoulder. "Save it for tomorrow, Kelly. Right now, let's celebrate coming home alive." That night, as Earth's news celebrated its first major victory in the war, the Vanguard's crew slept deeply. They had proven something important. Human innovation could stand toe-to-toe with galactic technology. But they all knew this was just the beginning. The Korth Empire wouldn't accept defeat easily, and Earth's prototype warship had made powerful enemies. 6 months passed. The USS Vanguard, Guardian, Defender, and Sentinel formed Earth's new rapid response force. Each ship carried upgraded weapons and improved armor, but the basic design remained the same. In the shipyards above Earth, workers rushed to complete more vessels. Diana Wells promoted Ryan O'Connor to first officer. His young age worried some admirals, but his proven combat skills earned respect from the crew. On the USS Guardian, engineer Mike Peterson made daily improvements to the ship's systems, sharing data with Jake Carter on the Vanguard. "Admiral Jackson, we've got trouble," Rachel reported from her new position as Director of Advanced Weapons Research. "Korth Intelligence has developed shield harmonics specifically to counter our quantum weapons." Admiral Jackson looked at the test data. "How effective are they?" "Very. Their new shields can block up to 60% of our disruption effect. We need to develop new tactics." A week later, alarms sounded across human space. Multiple Korth signatures detected, the early warning system announced. Over 200 ships heading toward Earth space. The 4 prototype ships scrambled to Jupiter Station, humanity's primary defensive position. Diana sat in the captain's chair, fingers drumming nervously on the armrest. "Fleet Admiral Jackson on all channels," came the announcement. "Defense. Formation Alpha 9. Vanguard takes point position. Copy that, Control. Vanguard ready for action." Rachel's voice crackled over ship-to-ship communications. "Diana, I've sent all ships the updated weapon profiles. The new shields will resist standard quantum disruption, but I think we can overload them with synchronized fire." "Understood. All ships form up. We hit them with everything we've got." The Korth fleet emerged from FTL like an angry swarm. Massive battleships lined up alongside destroyers and carriers. They moved in perfect formation, clearly confident their new technology would defeat the human ships. Lieutenant Sarah Reynolds, now Fleet Communications Officer, detected encrypted Korth transmissions. "They're ordering their ships to maintain tight formation, something about maximum shield overlap to counter our weapons." "Perfect," Diana smiled. "Jake, prepare emergency jump protocols. We're going to use their caution against them." The battle began badly for Earth. The Vanguard's usual tactics failed as Korth shields absorbed quantum disruption. Plasma fire overwhelmed their defensive screen. The Guardian took heavy damage when 3 destroyers concentrated fire on its port side. "Shields down to 30%, Lisa reported from her medical station. Guardian reports hull breaches on multiple decks. "Commander Lisa Torres, are you getting this data?" Diana called to the intelligence officer stationed at Jupiter base. "Affirmative, Captain. Their shield modification is working as predicted. But I noticed something. They're burning incredible power to maintain those harmonics. Diana's mind raced. The Korth had solved one problem but created another. Their ships now required constant energy flow to maintain the improved shields. All ships, new orders, micro-jump pattern delta, randomize your positions every 30 seconds. We're not breaking their shields, we're breaking their formation. The 4 Earth ships began jumping. Short bursts of gravity wave travel scattered them across the battlefield. The Korth tried to track individual vessels but lost cohesion trying to counter the unpredictable movement. Vanguard to Defender, Diana broadcast. I need you to mimic. Engine failure. Begin a slow drift toward their supply ships. Captain Steve Morgan aboard Defender understood immediately. Copy that. Beginning emergency procedures. The Defender powered down most systems, appearing crippled. Korth ships sensed weakness and moved to finish an easy target. Like wolves surrounding wounded prey, they broke formation for the kill. Now, Diana commanded, all ships concentrate. Fire on the lead battleship. 4 Earth vessels suddenly appeared at point-blank range. Their quantum weapons might not penetrate shields perfectly, but at close distance, the raw energy still caused massive damage. The lead battleship shuddered under combined fire. Its shields are fluctuating, Ryan shouted. The power drain is too much at close range. Diana pushed the advantage. All ships boarding formation. We're taking trophies. Human Marines in combat. Gear prepared for action. They'd been training for this moment, capturing intact Korth vessels for study. The USS Sentinel modified its docking hatch to connect with alien airlock designs. The battle turned into a brawl. Earth ships darted between larger opponents, firing at engines and weapon systems. The enemy tried to maintain formation, but human tactics evolved faster than their orders could adapt. Ben Wilson aboard the Vanguard noticed patterns in enemy power signatures. Captain, their shield generators have a cooldown cycle every 12 seconds. Time it perfectly, Ben. Ryan, prepare. Alpha strike pattern. They synchronize their attacks. Every 12 seconds, quantum weapons hit hardest while Korth shields briefly weakened. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. Ship by ship, the tide turned. 2 hours into the battle, the USS Guardian executed a desperate gambit. Engineer Mike Peterson had modified their reactor to output an electromagnetic pulse. As Korth ships swarmed the Guardian, Peterson triggered the device. EMP detonation in 3, 2, 1. The pulse spread like ripples in a pond. 20 Korth ships within range lost power completely. Their formation collapsed as dead vessels drifted helplessly through space. Guardian to all ships, Peterson reported. Reactor is critical. We're evacuating to lifeboats. Negative, Admiral Jackson overrode. Guardian is to initiate self-destruct. Maximum yield. Take as many with you as possible. Diana protested. Admiral, there are people. They're heroes saving Earth. Execute the order, Guardian. With tears in her eyes, Mike Peterson set the final protocols. The Guardian accelerated toward the Korth Fleet Center. 300 crew members escaped in lifeboats as their ship plunged forward. The explosion lit up the solar system. The Guardian's reactor detonated with concentrated fury, destroying itself and 7 enemy vessels. The shockwave damaged dozens more. In the aftermath of the blast, Diana's rage burned cold. All ships advance maximum speed. They wanted a battle. Let's give them a war. The remaining Earth vessels pressed their attack with mechanical precision. They'd learned to counter new Korth shields. They'd sacrificed comrades for tactical advantage. Now they hunted. Dr. Lisa Park treated a constant stream of wounded, working alongside xenobiologists who studied captured alien medicine. We're adapting their healing tech, she reported between surgeries. Could be game-changing for future missions. 4 hours later, what remained of the Korth invasion force retreated. 57 ships jumped to FTL, leaving behind 63 wrecks and thousands of debris fields. The price was high. The Guardian destroyed, the other 3 ships heavily damaged, over 400 Earth casualties. Stand down from battle. Stations, Diana ordered wearily. All departments submit damage reports. In the quiet that followed, Sarah Reynolds decoded a priority transmission. Captain, it's from the Galactic Senate. Multiple member species have declared war on the Korth Empire. They're calling it the Eden Prime Alliance. Earth is officially invited to join as a founding member. Earth's prototype warships had earned more than victory. They'd gained allies, respect, and a place at the table where galactic powers made decisions. But as Diana looked at empty stations where fallen crew members once worked, she knew the cost of war kept climbing. "Prepare for emergency repairs," she commanded. "We've won this battle, but the war is just beginning, and next time we'll be ready." 1 year after the Battle of Jupiter Station, Earth's shipyards operated at full capacity. 20 prototype warships now bore the Earth Defense Force insignia. The Guardian's sacrifice had inspired a generation of recruits who lined up to join. The crew Admiral Diana Wells stood on the bridge of the USS Vanguard, her promotion earned through blood and victory. She studied the battle plans for what intelligence called Operation Spearhead, a direct strike at the Korth homeworld. "Fleet status report," she commanded. Ryan O'Connor, now commander, read from his display. 20 Earth vessels ready. 43 Allied ships from the Eden Prime Alliance. Total force, 63 warships. Enemy strength? The Korth Emperor has pulled back most forces to defend their homeworld. Estimated 200 ships, including their newest dreadnoughts with improved armor and shields. Diana nodded grimly. The odds remained against them, but Earth's tactics had evolved. Each battle taught new lessons. Each victory revealed enemy weaknesses. Dr. Rachel Miller appeared on the main screen from the medical frigate USS Mercury. She now served as lead scientist for the entire fleet. "Admiral, the new quantum torpedo modifications are complete. We can now trigger controlled chain reactions in their power cores." "Excellent work, Doctor. Jake, how's our reactor holding up?" Commander Jake Carter grinned. "Running better than ever. The fusion containment improvements from the Guardian's data have increased our power output by 30%. The fleet assembled and at the edge of Korth space. Ships from 7 different species formed the attack force. Sleek Zelitan cruisers flew alongside bulky Thraxian battleships. Human vessels, once mocked for their crude appearance, were now copied by Allied designers. "Admiral Jackson on secure channel," Sarah Reynolds announced. The fleet admiral appeared, larger than life on screen. "Diana, this operation has full Senate approval. If we succeed, the war could end. If we fail, we won't fail, sir. Our people know what's at stake." Intelligence Officer Commander Tom Reed briefed the entire fleet. "The Emperor's palace sits at the center of a defensive sphere. 3 layers of ships, asteroid forts, and energy shields protect it. We break through. We win the war." The attack began at 0300 hours. Earth ships led the assault, their quantum weapons still the most effective against Korth defenses. The enemy massed to meet them, forming walls of plasma fire that lit up space like an angry sun. "Evasive pattern gamma," Diana commanded. The Vanguard twisted through the deadly light show. Allied ships followed, matching human maneuvers. The whole fleet moved like a single organism, adapting instantly to threats. Ben Wilson coordinated targeting from the tactical station. His skill had grown legendary throughout the fleet. "Captain, the asteroid forts have weak points between their shield emitters. If we can exploit them, do it. All Earth ships follow Ben's lead." Quantum torpedoes struck precisely between shield generators. Massive forts that had defended the Korth homeworld for centuries cracked and shattered. The first defense layer began to crumble. Inside the USS Mercury, Dr. Lisa Park worked frantically as casualties mounted. Human and alien blood mixed on the medical bay floor. Her staff had trained with every species in the Alliance, but nothing prepared them for this scale of injuries. "Prep another surgical bay," she ordered. "We've got Thraxian warriors and human, Marines both coming in critical." Above her, the battle raged on. The Allied fleet pushed through the second defensive layer. Korth ships exploded as human tactics overwhelmed their formations, but Earth paid the price too. 3 prototype vessels went silent, their crews dying for the cause. "Vanguard, we've got visual on the Emperor's bunker," reported the USS Sentinel. "Palace is heavily defended. Multiple dreadnoughts guarding the entrance." Diana made her decision. "All ships, Delta formation. We're going straight through." The fleet formed a spearhead with the vanguard at its tip. They accelerated directly at the palace, weapons blazing. The largest dreadnoughts moved to intercept, their massive bulk dwarfing the Allied ships. "Ryan, prepare the quantum burst override," Diana ordered. They'd saved this tactic for the critical moment. "Ready on your command." The dreadnoughts opened fire with their main guns. Energy beams capable of vaporizing planets tracked the approaching fleet. Ships scattered, but the formation held. They reached point-blank range before Diana gave the order. "Fire everything." 20 ships fired their quantum weapons simultaneously. The overlapping disruption fields created a resonance cascade. 3 massive dreadnoughts suddenly lost all power, drifting helplessly as momentum carried them forward. "Target the bunker!" Ben shouted coordinates. "All ships focus fire!" Earth's quantum torpedoes and Allied plasma weapons struck together. The Emperor's palace had withstood orbital bombardment for 1,000 years. Against the combined assault of innovative human weapons and galactic firepower, it lasted less than 1 minute. The bunker imploded. Rocky debris sprayed into space as the Korth command center vanished in fire and rubble. For a moment, every gun fell silent. Then surrender broadcasts filled all frequencies. Ships that had fought moments ago powered down weapons. The Korth Emperor's death ended their war machine's driving force. "Admiral Wells, this is the Galactic Senate. Stand down all forces. The Korth Empire has offered unconditional surrender." 6 months later, Diana stood before the Senate chamber. Her dress uniform displayed medals from Earth and Allied worlds. Ambassador Claire Davidson introduced her as the human who ended the war. The prototype program saved countless lives. Diana addressed the assembly. "Our people died to prove that innovation beats tradition, that courage defeats fear, that Earth deserves its place among the stars." Senator Vexthor, who once mocked Earth's technology, now led the applause. The Galactic Council formally recognized Earth as a major power. Trade agreements, mutual defense pacts, and scientific exchanges followed quickly. Back on Earth, Jake Carter received the Senate's highest scientific honor. His acceptance speech was simple. "We built something they said couldn't work. We fought when they said we'd lose. We didn't just survive, we showed everyone a better way." The Korth territories became protectorates of the Eden Prime Alliance. Former enemy worlds joined in rebuilding. Only the prototype warship design remained classified, though every species requested blueprints. 1 year later, the USS Vanguard returned to Jupiter Station. The space graveyard where the Guardian died now held a memorial. Diana stood with her original crew, those who survived, looking at names carved in asteroid rock. "They said our ship was primitive," Ryan remembered. "They mocked the thick armor and basic weapons." "They were wrong," Diana replied. "This old bucket of bolts changed everything." Above Earth, 5 new shipyards had begun construction. Human-designed vessels became the standard for the Alliance fleet. The quantum weapons that once seemed crude now equipped ships of every friendly species. In the engineering labs of Mars, young scientists worked on improvements. Kelly Brooks, now a full engineer, developed ways to strengthen quantum fields. Tom Reed established training programs sharing Earth's tactical knowledge with Allied commanders. The war had ended, but humanity's journey among the stars had just begun. Earth's prototype warships proved that determination and innovation could overcome any challenge. The galaxy would never again underestimate human potential. On quiet nights, in the crew lounge of the USS Vanguard, veterans gathered to share stories. They spoke of the first uncertain launch, the scout battle that changed everything, the defense of Eden Prime, and the final assault that stopped an empire. Diana listened to these tales, sometimes adding details forgotten by younger crew. The Our, ship that started as Earth's mockery, had become her legacy, proof that when pushed to the edge, humanity's greatest weapon was its refusal to surrender. Outside the viewports, stars shone bright and peaceful. Earth's prototype warship sailed among them not as an experimental vessel, but as a symbol. Reminder that in the vast darkness of space, human ingenuity could light the way forward.